Hello, my name is Jean Marie Papelian. I am the Executive Director of Armenia Tree Project. Armenia Tree Project was established in 1994 by Carolyn Mugar, who is an Armenian American activist from the Boston area. Carolyn was in Armenia during the dark days of the early 1990s, and she saw that people were cutting down trees, even in the city parks, to burn them to heat their homes. And what Carolyn knew was that if Armenia survived all the other crises it was undergoing at that time, it would have an environmental crisis. So Armenia Tree Project was established. Also, we often quote this poet, Lucy Larcombe, in saying, planting a tree, he who plants a tree plants a hope, because planting a tree is ultimately an act of hope. And people in Armenia needed hope at that time. Since 1994, we've planted nearly 8 million trees. In fact, we'll reach the milestone of planting our 8 millionth tree during the fall 2023 planting season. We've established more than 1,500 hectares of new forest all over Armenia, and we've established thousands of community tree planting sites all over Armenia and Artsakh. Sadly, in recent days, our community tree planting sites in Artsakh were lost, but our work continues. We give fruit trees to villagers so that they could have the fruit to consume, to support their families. We do environmental education with thousands of students in Armenia and in the diaspora. In Armenia, we have 2 environmental education centers, and we have about 20 eco clubs in schools. We believe it's important to teach children the importance of being good environmental stewards, to be better stewards of the environment than their parents and grandparents were. In the diaspora, we have a program called Building Bridges, which is in over 100 schools in North America and schools in all over the world, including Australia. And that program teaches students about the environment in general and about the environment in Armenia in particular. Some schools have trips to Armenia for their students, and we invite them to spend a day with us in Armenia, learning about Armenia Tree Project, learning about the environment, meeting students their own age, and planting trees together. That's called Building Bridges. It's been a very successful program. When we started Armenia Tree Project, we were planting in communities. That's what we now call our community tree planting program. What we do is we green a public space, a churchyard, a schoolyard, establish a village orchard, plant in a park, something like that. It helps to clean the air, to green the area, and it provides fruit and nuts to the local community. When we go into a community where we'll plant, for example, a schoolyard where the children can benefit from the fruit and nuts, we will also work with the local community to distribute fruit and nut trees to every household in the village. In addition, when we go to communities to do community tree planting, we will, in addition, when we do community tree planting in communities, we will invite the children of that community to participate in our environmental education programs, which may include our team visiting their school or inviting them to visit one of our environmental education centers. We also do camps at our environmental education centers in the summer. In the past couple of summers, we have had some camps where we invited children from border villages to come and spend some relaxing time away from the stressful environment of the border villages, having fun in nature and learning about nature. Our main program is our forestry program. And as I said, we have planted over 1,500 hectares of new forest in Armenia over the past 30 years. It's a huge program. It's where we plant the majority of our trees. This year in 2023, we'll plant 650,000 trees. Next year in 2024, I expect that we'll plant 800,000 trees, and our plan is by 2025 to be planting 1 million trees a year. Those trees are grown in our nurseries. We have 4 nurseries in Armenia. We do the seed selection and seed testing to ensure that we are planting the highest quality tree with the highest possible rate of survival. Our experts make sure that they are healthy trees, which are planted in our forests, and care for them after they're planted to ensure a high survivability rate. We employ lots of local people in this process. We have 80 year-round employees, and during the spring and fall planting seasons, we will hire another 150 to 200 seasonal workers to help us with the planting process. It's a big operation, and we're very proud of it. Our first nursery was established in a village in Ashtarak, which is called Karin village. And we also now have one of our environmental education centers there. Karin village was established by the United Nations in the early 1990s as a home for refugees, Armenian ethnic refugees from Baku. And we gave them jobs. In our Myrek nursery in Margahovi, we also employ a lot of refugees. And with the current influx of refugees to Armenia from Artsakh, we are looking into how we can help refugees from Artsakh in similar ways. After the 2020 war, we learned that Artsakh had lost a lot of agricultural land and that there was a concern for future food insecurity. So we asked ourselves, as a tree planting program, what can we do to help these farmers in Artsakh? And we established a backyard greenhouse program. We worked with a couple of other organizations. Around that time, the students at Worcester Polytechnic Institute in Massachusetts had contacted us. They had a program with the American University of Armenia, and some of their engineering students were wondering, did we have any projects they could work on? So we asked them if they could design small greenhouses which could be easily constructed and maintained from locally available materials and that were affordable. They did design such a greenhouse, and in the spring of 2022, we built 51 small greenhouses in Artsakh. 49 of those were in the backyards of villagers in Martuni and Askaran regions, and 2 were at schools. One was at the Martuni Vocational School, and the other one was at Shushi Technological University, which was located in Stepanakert. The idea of having them at schools was that they would provide local training areas for farmers for best practices for growing intensively in greenhouses. And the idea of the greenhouses was, given the loss of agricultural land, farmers could grow vegetables more intensively and could extend the growing season. We worked with another organization which is called Green Lane NGO, a local nonprofit here in Armenia, which teaches farmers best practices for growing high-value crops, packaging and marketing them for sale. So with Green Lane NGO, we built the greenhouses. We gave the villagers tools, soil, seeds, and instruction. So the first seeds were planted in the spring of 2022. The villagers in Artsakh enjoyed great harvests in the summer of 2022 and the fall of 2022. In December of 2022, our team went to Artsakh to meet with our greenhouse recipients and to give them some seeds for winter planting, as well as space heaters to heat their greenhouses. 2 days after our team returned, the blockade was imposed. And those greenhouses were a lifeline for the families who had them because they were growing winter vegetables. As the blockade continued, we were concerned that it was time for winter planting, and we arranged, with the help of a lot of other people and organizations, to get in through the blockade thousands of seeds for vegetables to be planted in spring planting, as well as 90 tons of seed potatoes to be planted and harvested in the fall. We know that the Artsakhis aren't there to enjoy their fall harvest, but we are very proud of the fact that during those difficult months of the blockade, we were giving them hope and sustenance, literally giving them sustenance. Now, I've just arrived in Armenia. It's October of 2023, and the refugees are just arriving. My mission is to find out what they need and how we can help them. I imagine that many of the refugees come from rural villages and are farmers, and we are hoping that we can incorporate them into some of our programs as they settle here in rural villages in Armenia.